This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Morning Tailgate here on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I'm Crispy Bacon, and I am here with the Prime Moose, Tim. How you doing this morning?
Oh, this morning is great that we get the whole slate of games except for two. I'm excited. I get a revenge game against Brandon from 2 years ago where Indy can't hold a 33-0 lead, and we're gonna see how that works out tonight. Other than that, I'm excited about how the rest of the slate of today's games are going to go.
Yeah, and I'm also here with Big B. How you doing, Big B?
Doing good. I mean, yeah, that 33-0 donut. What was it? Like 8 minutes left in the third quarter. It turns out to be a 36-39 Viking victory. I still to this day don't know how the Vikings did it. Don't know how the Colts let that happen. But yeah, great slate of games. Games I think in the mix there, but it's always good to watch some football.
And wasn't that game international? Like
No,
like that?
No, that was in.
No, that was in the dome. Or that was at. Was it in Indy or U.S. Bank?
That was at Lucas Oil.
Was it? Okay,
No.
I thought it was here.
No. That was at the.
You're right. It was there. It was there.
Yeah.
On a Saturday,
that
too.
was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was like a Christmas game or something like that. I don't know. And I'm also here with James. How you doing this morning?
Man, it's good. You know, I bet that won't be shown during the Sunday night game. I think it's the last time they played each other, too, I want to say.
Yeah.
Other from preseason. Yeah, hopefully everybody had a good Halloween and all that. I'm dressed up as a defensive coordinator, as Primus mentioned before the show. I think we have some good games today. I'm interested to get into them.
A lot of good games, a lot of divisional games that will impact the season. But before that, let's briefly kind of go over what happened Thursday with the Jets and the Texans. Looks like it was going to go the Texans' way. Then a few bad calls kind of led to New York, winning that game unexpectedly. Any thoughts to that? We'll go to Tim.
I didn't see the game. I'm happy the game went the way it did, even though I picked the Texans. It's always nice to gain a spot without playing that day. I think the injuries are going to start to mount up and start to hurt the Texans. You lose Diggs for the year. The week before, and I think you still did. They have Nico Collins? I can't quite remember, but they've got a lot of injuries. They walked out of that Colts game with a lot of injuries, and then they walked right into the Jets. I'm happy that the Jets won that game. Other than that, we're going to see how this plays out for both after this week.
Yeah, Big B.
Well, as you guys know, I don't like taking the road teams on these short weeks, and of course I did. The Texans, on paper, were a better team, but like Tim said, I mean, they battled injuries their last two games. I think for even Minnesota, I mean, you look at what they ended up doing the the week prior. They lost the Lions and came and lost the Rams. So these Thursday games, especially for those two teams, might impact their year. We could probably look back late in the season and be like, hey, if they didn't make the playoffs, it's those Thursday games that probably cost them. But I'm shocked that the Jets took it to them. Like Chris said, a couple bad calls went the Jets' way. Houston just did not put it together. But, we'll see how the rest of the season plays out. Maybe we are looking back at these last two Thursday games and be like, hey, that was their season change right there.
James?
Yeah, Nico Collins didn't play. I think he missed his fourth straight game, I want to say. Tank Dell did well, but they couldn't get to the end zone. There were turnovers. There were issues like that with C.J. Stroud. He hasn't had the year like he had last year. I think the league is trying to, have figured him out. I think he's got to adjust to that, but not having his two best receivers really hurts. The running game, Joe Mixon, he came back and he did well, so that was great too. But the Jets defense showed up. That was great to see. And it seems like they always do, and maybe the offense doesn't. But this was a case that Aaron Rodgers, even though he didn't throw for over 300 yards, he had 3 touchdowns. Breece Hall was good on some first downs. And then Garrett Wilson had 2 touchdowns, including the one-handed catch. That was amazing to see. It reminded me of Odell in the same stadium, but on the opposite side of the field, though, the opposite end zone on that side of the field. Devontae Adams had the touchdown catch, so they got back to going through the air. They had less penalties. They had less timeouts used in the first quarter, in the first half. So that was good to see. Just a total change from what happened in New England the week before, where they used the first drive they used 3 timeouts. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But yeah, the Jets needed this, and the Texans, they got to do a little soul searching right now. And I wonder if they'll be making some moves before Tuesday's trade deadline.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting, week in the NFL. Trade deadline is Tuesday, the Monday after, or the day after Monday Night Football. We'll kind of know who's going to be on the chopping block or moving to different teams. So that should be a fun one. We're going to kind of move into pick / one big question, and I got the games up for this week on ESPN, and we're going to kind of move down the list to Sunday Night Football because Big B's here, and Big B and Tim, their teams are playing tonight. And it's kind of mixed in with one big question. So for Big B, what's your one big question?
So we all know that Anthony Richardson pulled himself out of a play last week. So as my question, it's kind of a 3-part question on how this is going to play into his future. What is the team thinking about? The general manager, the owners. What is his teammates feeling? How can they back a guy that could sit, take himself out of a play? And then the fans themselves. What are the fans thinking? So I want to save Tim's comments for later. So, James, what do you think? How is this going to affect those 3 parts for the Colts?
Well, I saw Jonathan Taylor's reaction right away when, Richardson went to his head. Taylor did like a double take, like, wait, where are you going? So that's a little alarming there. And all, week long, I've heard all the shows talk about it where it's like, hey, if you do that now, how can we depend on you? It's like the old Joe Pesci line. So I hope he could get forward where it's like, hey, I won't be doing that again. I'm young. I'm 22. I'll make mistakes. But no, you can't do that ever again. Like, go to your knee or go to your shoulder. Go to your ribs or something. Don't just tap yourself out of the game. But I think it's kind of a blessing in a way because you want to see what old Flacco has at 40 years old or whatever he is. So I do like that move for the Colts, but it was just the wrong move for AR. And I'm just I'm dumbfounded sometimes by what these new players are doing or what their actions are doing, and just it proved me right again. I'm just shocked by it. But yeah, for the owner, the organization moving forward, you have to figure out, okay, is he our guy? Is he gonna bail out in situations, even further in the game? Is he gonna take himself out, during the fourth quarters where we really need him and we don't have a Joe Flacco? Do we have to keep a backup, who's very serviceable, or can we have him have AR going in the future with no issues? So I was just shocked by it, but the way things are now, I'm not really surprised, I guess, but shocked that it happened right in the game where they needed him. That's my 2 cents about that.
Yeah,
All right, Chris, how about you? What do you think?
yeah, he shows signs that he's good, but then at times we know that he has an issue with sliding, and he gets a lot of concussions and time off, and and now he's showing that he can't play a game, a quarter too long or something like that. He has to pull himself out. I think at this point now he's kind of unreliable at that point, but when he is in, he is decent. He's good. I don't know about going, taking him long term now.
Yeah, I mean, before we get to Tim, for me, it's, as a fan, I mean, we don't live in their shoes. We want them to be out there every game. So, yeah, of course, he's going to get bad pub, until he can prove that he's that guy. Teammates, I mean, I think they each need to sit down with them or sit down with them as a group and be like, dude, where's your head at? You want to be a part of us? Do you want us, you got to get that rally behind your teammates and, and like James said, come forward and just say, dude, I'm young. It was my mistake. I shouldn't have done it. I mean, yeah, it was just one play. And again, James was right too. The ownership, they got to sit down with them too and find out if this is their guy. We'll see where his head's at. See, because they got decent weapons there. I mean, they keep getting some pieces together. I think they could do good. I mean, he hasn't had a career like C.J. Stroud, but due to injuries and stuff. So I think everybody just needs to sit down with him and just find out where he's at and how they can rally behind him. So, Tim, the floor is yours. This is your team. What is your thoughts? And keep it PG as much as possible.
As for the locker room, I think when he tapped out, I think I don't like the excuse that I was tired. You're talking about a team that is dead last on offensive time of possession. So your excuse of being tired is almost next to nothing. That you pull yourself on a 3rd and goal in the second quarter, which is even worse in a game in a division game where you're playing for a potential share of the lead in your division against a team that you haven't beaten in five games, now 6 games. You lose. I think you lost half the locker room. If from the reports that I'm reading, that there were players that went to the coach and said that you need to pull him because this isn't going to work. If you're tapping out at 3rd and goal, like James said, what are you going to do in 4th and goal? Where you're looking at 3rd and goal in the second quarter, what happens all of a sudden? You're pulling yourself a 3rd and goal in the 4th, or you're pulling yourself on a possible game-winning tie in overtime to put yourself in the playoffs. Now, and you're talking about you're doing everything wrong. the brass did exactly what they're supposed to do, and you're supposed to bench a guy. You're supposed to put the team in the best possible spot to win. Joe Flacco is the guy that is going to give you the best possible thing. The guy's been in 3 games. He's thrown 710 yards in 3 games, and he's gotten 7 touchdowns and 1 interception. He's throwing 66% compared to Anthony Richardson, who's throwing 42%. Now you're looking at it and you got to think about it. Yes, I love I love Anthony Richardson. Yeah, he went to Florida, but at this point he needs to grow up. And at a fan standpoint, I would have I was about 3 seconds of tearing my TV off anything I could have, because the moment I tapped, and I'm going to keep this as PG as possible. Are you kidding me? Is he tapping out on 3rd and goal? Are you effing kidding me? Because at this point you lost me. And for fans out there to sit there and go, well, he's young, he's still this, he's still that, you're going to break his confidence. No, you got Joe Flacco for a reason, to build up his confidence, to teach him how to do things in this league. Because Joe Flacco, much like it has been to the Super Bowl, has won a Super Bowl. He knows how to win in this league. Last year he won comeback player of the year because he took another quarterback's team where he gave up on his team basically and took them to the playoffs. That's the reason why Indy went out and paid $5 million this year for Joe Flacco, is to put somebody who's got a head on his shoulders, who knows how to win in this league and win in a tough division like the AFC in the AFC North. Now you bring the AFC South and you bring a team like with him, it's possible. We figured out Gardner Minshew wasn't the answer, so we let him go. Now we bring in Joe Flacco, a guy who's a perennial is a perennial winner. I think Anthony Richardson needs some time to sit down. If he doesn't start the rest of the season, I'm not going to be sad. Think about all the players who have had to sit behind a veteran quarterback. You look at Aaron Rodgers, who had to sit behind Brett Favre. You have Jordan Love, who had to sit behind Aaron Rodgers. You look at all these other people who have had to sit behind veteran quarterbacks to learn. Guess what? It does nothing but make them better. And to be honest, Bryce Young was getting that until Dalton's car accident last week. I think Anthony Richardson really needs to sit behind a veteran quarterback for at least a year.
I think it just also depends on the quarterback, because we've seen like what's going on in Washington. Rookie quarterback doing really well. I think it just depends on the player and if you do need to sit him or not. And what I've heard about the Colts is, he is going to sit the rest of the season. Players have, voiced opinions about having Flacco to start, and he will start the rest of the season. The Colts will evaluate Richardson after the season to see if he is the guy moving forward. But as far as right now, he is not the guy.
If I may mention real quick, he's 22. He's so young. I never thought a player would do that unless it's just an attitude problem. So it's probably that. And then this isn't the first time we've seen a quarterback give up on his team this year. Deshaun Watson, remember, had a 4th and goal or something like that in Washington, and he just walked off the field as the play clock was going down, and Stefanski kept looking at him like once or twice. Right. And then I was just thinking to myself, I was like, man, that isn't the last time a Colts quarterback quit on the team. I remember Andrew Luck, as I was doing the fantasy draft with my friends, and luckily I didn't pick him. Someone else picked him. And he was asking for a trade or redo right away. So it's just a haunting memory, I think, for Colt fans anytime you hear the quarterback quit or whatever the case is. But it's just, I think the locker room kind of looked down at him after that. And I'd rather see Flacco anyway. I think he gave a better chance, less turnovers, throwing the ball in the air. I'm wondering, too, if the Colts, I don't know how good their backup running back is, but I wonder if they, change that offense around and get their running game going.
Well, tonight we're gonna have Jonathan Taylor. We had a little bit of Taylor last week. I think and if you're gonna go with the backup quarterback would probably be better off would be Trey Sermon if you're gonna go because Trey Sermon's been serviceable. You got Tyler Goodson too, but Sermon's been the guy who's almost been I think he's a step above what Zach Moss was last year. I think you're going to see a lot more. I think you're going to see a lot more with Trey Sermon, especially tonight. You're going to get that 1-2 punch tonight against the Vikings.
Good. I like Trey Sermon back in college.
Yeah, no, he's good. But, yeah, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, I mean, his best work was done at Home Improvement. So,
Yeah.
Well, he's talking a lot before tonight's game. You know that, right?
So with all that being said about what we discussed with the Colts, who's y'all picks for this game, Vikings and the Colts? We'll start with Big B.
oh, God. Man, this is honestly a tough game. They are home. They're reeling from a 2-0, last two losses that, if it wasn't for the Bears screw up in their game, they would have went to last place. 5-0, one day, 2 games later, you're last. So they got a lot biting on them. So honestly, I mean, I know everyone's going to be like, oh, it's the homer pick, but I really think the Vikes are going to come up firing up. I think they are going to, and I am scared of this game. Flacco is a good quarterback, and he can, pick apart a defense, and our defense has been struggling, but I am going to go a close game here. I'm going to go with the Vikes.
All right, Tim.
Yeah, Brandon went with his homer pick. But you look at it, the offenses, both offenses are evenly matched. Both defenses are they're you got the 23rd defense in Minnesota, you got the 29th defense in Indy. The only thing that we're having problem with is the rush defense. But that's ever since the first half of the Packer game, that's pretty much been almost like a non-existent problem anymore. We don't have Tyquan Lewis. We knew that. We've got a bunch of guys, but we're going to be almost on the offense now, full strength. No Fries, but then again, we've got a rookie lineman that's been absolutely phenomenal. We've got another one if Kelly goes down. Hurt that Denbo went down early in that game last week. I'm going to do the opposite Omer pick. I'm going to go with the Colts in this game. I think it's a little bit retribution. I think tonight's going to be a fun game. I think this one, much like the last one, is going to be a field goal. I think it's going to be a field goal that's going to separate this game. And Indy is probably one of the few teams in this league that has had every game has been within one score.
Wow.
James?
Yeah, I'm looking at the rankings or whatever, and I realize the Vikings are 8th in defense, and they have just a bunch of young players and some other guys playing well. I don't think we'll have a crazy game like we did on December 17, 2022, but being flexed to Sunday night, since they couldn't get Green Bay and Detroit, I'm hoping this is a good one. I think the Vikings pull it out as well. I just want to see Sam Darnold play better, going up against a 28 ranked defense like the Colts. I hope that he can get it out to Jefferson and to Addison, and running game with Cook does better. With Jones does better. Hopefully Flacco can air it out and do better, but the Viking defense, they've come up with big plays and turnovers all year long. I think eventually that'll happen late in the game for them. Hopefully it'll be a close one. I'm going to go Minnesota.
All right. So it looks like Chris stepped away first. Oh, Chris
Bacon
back?
looks like Bacon went. No, it looks like Bacon went to the bathroom.
Okay. So, or flip his Bacon. So we'll get Bacon's pick here shortly. Tim, you got the slate schedule. What's the first nooner here or early game?
Bacon's back.
Oh, back.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Coach.
I thought I heard something for a second. I got the Vikings in this one.
He was thinking of Richardson.
Jeez, take it really this
No,
early in this.
no. I just, yeah.
All right, Chris.
First noon game I got. Speaking of homer teams, I guess Cowboys and the Falcons. Um, Cowboys have been okay at home. I mean, on the road, better than at home. But I still have to go with Atlanta. As
Okay.
much as I hate that. James.
Man, I honestly can't wait for this game. It's like both of these teams can self-destruct at any time. It doesn't matter home or away, but they do better away. It's just funny how it is for them. The Falcons only 2-3 at home. You know, they can come up with bad penalty or bad games at home or bad finishes. Man, is Parsons and Lawrence still out for Dallas, Crispy?
As far as I know, they are. I know one.
Parsons is
player.
out indefinitely, right?
I
Parsons
know
is out.
Yeah.
Bland is out.
And oh wow, jeez.
Lawrence is on the IR still,
That's who I'm
Yeah.
thinking of. Thank you.
And
I'm gonna go.
and Diggs is questionable.
Wow.
and as far as like disciplinary reasons, you will not have Zeke.
Jeez. Okay.
Okay.
You're gonna air it out to Lamb, I guess, and
Have to.
hopefully the tight end gets busy. But I think Atlanta's going to win this. I think they have more offensive weapons, and hopefully the running game could get going as well. But I saw Cousins last week. He threw for 4 touchdowns. He was really, really well spreading the ball to everyone. I think the same thing happens again. I'm going with the Falcons.
All right, Jim.
You know, I have this feeling I'm going to be the lone wolf on this. I know they do this on Fox and the whole lone wolf bull crap. I like the Cowboys in this because, like James says, they're just two teams that like to self-destruct at inopportune times. I think it's just how many times each team is going to self-destruct and who's going to pick themselves up faster. I think this is going to be a squeaker of a game, and I definitely have the Cowboys.
All right, Big B.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one, if not the game of the night or the day, afternoon. Like James said, I mean, both teams are just that short button away from self-destruction, especially the Cowboys. I didn't realize how bad the Cowboys were injured. So they have been playing. I think all their wins have come on the road, I think, or something like that, or so they are a better road team, but you know, I gotta go with Atlanta. I think Atlanta's gonna fly high. Cousins, as much as I like him, but I don't like the contract that he signed here. You know, he does get the ball around, he does get everybody involved, and as long as that defense can shut down that offense, I think Atlanta will be the team tonight. It'll be a close one, I think. So, but I got Atlanta.
All right. Next game, Bills or Dolphins at the Bills, an AFC East matchup. Who do you guys got? We're gonna go with Big B on this one.
Oh man! At the beginning of the year, I would have probably taken the Dolphins on this one. I know Tua's back, but he's still, you know, I think everybody's gonna watch this game, just making sure he doesn't get hurt. Yeah, I got to go the Bills on this one. They're kind of surprising me a little bit on how they are doing. I thought with them losing Diggs, they would have, you know, kind of bottomed out. But no, they seem to be doing high, flying it right. So I'm going to go Bills on this one in another close game here.
Tim?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think this one's going to be close. I have this weird feeling. Cooper's questionable though for Buffalo. I like much like B said when I looked at the schedule early. I would have probably said the Dolphins. I like Buffalo in this game. They're undefeated at home. They're undefeated in the division. And Miami still. I don't know. If the coaching staff is still a little leery about how they're going to run with Tua. Yeah, I still think they're playing a little timid with Tua in his head. It's weird that I brought that up earlier this year, this beginning of the season about Tua and the head and the worries came back again. I got Buffalo, and I don't think this is going to be close.
No, I don't think so either. James.
It's certainly trending that way. The Dolphins have lost 2 straight at Indy and then at home against Arizona by 1, so that was a great finish. Samuel and Cooper are questionable, the receivers for Buffalo, meaning Shazier should have a good game. For the Dolphins, Javon Holland, their great safety, will be out, or doubtful, which will probably be out. Man, I'm just waiting for Tyreek Hill to make an impact in this game and Achane, but the Bills' defense, they've held their own, so they've been great, and Cook has been great rushing-wise, and Allen's only thrown 1 pick this year. And I think it just continues to be the Bills' division. They can put themselves way ahead of everyone with a win today. I think the Jets are only 3-5 or 6 or whatever, 3-5. 3-6 now, and the Bills will be 7-2, and before you know it, the Bills can clinch a little bit later on.
I've got
news.
I got news specifically on this game alone. Amari Cooper has been announced inactive for today's game against the Dolphins.
Yeah, I just saw that too. With a wrist
I'm still
injury.
going with the Bills.
Going with the
Bills. I ain't backtracking on it.
I'm going with Buffalo too. I mean, they've had no Amari Cooper throughout the season because he was on another team. I don't think it's going to hurt much. Mm-hmm. And then circling around back to that Cowboy game, you will have Diggs. He is active. They did announce that.
I feel much better. My Cowboys pick
then. Next up, you have the Raiders going to Cincinnati to face the Bengals. AFC matchup. James, who do you got for this one?
I wish Gardner Minshew would tap out, but Desmond Ridder would be playing for the Raiders, and he was a failed first round pick for the Falcons. I think it's going to be more of the same. I think Joe Burrow's going to have a big day offensively. With Chase there. Bowers has been only the bright spot for the Raiders offensively with the tight end there, the rookie tight end. I think the Bengals, they blow out the Raiders today. I just don't see a way that the Raiders win this unless defensively they get to Burrow and they, zone cover Chase, but you still have the other weapons there with Higgins. So that would be interesting to see. But, yeah, I think the Bengals win this pretty easy. They need a win at home. I think the Bengals are 0-4 at home, and that ends today.
Yep, 0-4.
Yeah. Tim, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm hoping Higgins starts, because right now he's doubtful, but I think that's a game time. I think he's a game time decision. This used to be such a big rivalry back in the 90s between the Raiders and the Bengals, always playing for playoff spots, early 90s. Back the Raiders still owe the Bengals for basically destroying Bo Jackson on one play. I would be a little mad, but you're 0-4. Bengals are 0-4 at home. You're looking up at a 1-3 Raiders on the away team. Like James says, Brock Bowers is the only bright spot that on the offense. Something's got to figure out in Cincinnati because they can only play on the road. And it's a nice little respite that you get the Raiders to come into your town to play. I've got Cincinnati. I think this is going to be a little closer, but and it all depends on if Higgins is going to be a game. If Higgins starts, if it's going to be close, because you got no Zach Moss with Cincinnati. He's out with a neck. I know we all have necks, but he's got a neck injury. I've got Cincinnati. It just depends on by how much at this point.
Yeah, Big B.
Yeah, the Raiders. I mean, like Tim said, this used to be a good game. When they played each other in the early '90s, late '80s, but Raiders, I don't know. James, you know a little bit more about the Raiders because you follow them, but it'll be interesting to see what they do on the offseason with some people. But yeah, I got the Bengals in this game. I think they snapped that 0 for 4 at home, and I'm going to make this as the lock of my week. Bengals over the Raiders.
Yeah.
So, and that'll be my last game, guys. I got to get to work, but talk to you guys later.
All right. Tim, did you make your pick?
Yeah, the Bengals.
All right. I got the Bengals too, but Raiders came close, last week of winning. I think it's going to be another close one, but I got Cincinnati on this game. Hopefully, it's going to be a good matchup, though, in the battle of the AFC. And continuing in the battle of the AFC, although maybe not, you got the Chargers going up against the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. Tim, who do you got?
I think Jameis Winston changes the look of what goes on in Cleveland. You saw he had a three touchdown game last week. I was absolutely floored when Cleveland won. I'm probably the lone guy in this whole thing, but I'm going to take Cleveland.
Oh,
and it's weird. You got Winston and Chubb. I know they just gave away Amari Cooper, but it gives them a reason to fight because they probably feel like they've got nothing to play for anyway. But I'm not going to make this my lock because that would be ridiculous, and I've pretty figured out which one my lock is going to be and it's even more ridiculous. But yeah, I've got Cleveland over the Chargers.
Cleveland over the Chargers. All right, James.
There's some key injuries for the Chargers. Perriman, Bosa, and DJ Shark Jr. are all questionable for the game today. So those are two big defensive players and the wide receiver threat. And they already have so many receivers out for the Chargers. So they're going to have to do it on the ground with J.K. Dobbins. Problem is the Browns have a really, really good defense. It starts with Myles Garrett. You have Denzel Ward. Both are in trade talks, possibly with others. Or to be gone, I should say. The Browns aren't really that banged up. So I'm thinking the Chargers, since they're so one-dimensional right now on the ground, and they played the Saints who were banged up last week, so you don't really count that. I'm going to go with the Browns, and as long as this Jameis Winston train keeps going, the confidence can build up. I know they're not going to make the playoffs, but at least they could get some wins here and there. I mean, the way that they held on to beat the Ravens, it was a little bit of luck and a little bit of the elements. Too as well that helped him out, but it's funny with Jameis Winston. I remember him a couple years ago starting with the Saints, and he kind of led a little revival there. Maybe he could do it with the Browns here just for fun. I'm actually gonna go. I changed my pick. I'm gonna go with the Browns. I think they win today over the Chargers.
Wow, everybody's making surprising picks here.
I was gonna say Shark is active, but he was just activated from the injured reserve. So don't even think about what I just said.
Okay. I'm going with the Chargers. Big B's going with the Chargers. I don't know. I still feel like the Chargers can win this game. Cleveland. Cleveland can. I don't know. I feel like Cleveland's in a downhill spiral. So I'm going with the Chargers on this one. Patriots and the Titans.
Ew.
I think I know where this game's going to lead to. You got Drake May starting for the Patriots against Tennessee. based on that, James, who do you got?
Yeah, I forget. I didn't know that. You said May is playing for the Patriots.
Yes.
I know Levis is out; he'll be inactive. So it'd be Mason Rudolph.
Pollard's in too. Pollard, they've already activated Pollard too.
That'll help.
Yeah.
A little bit. God, I guess I'll go with Tennessee with that news with Pollard running. This is also, a matchup of teams that might be active tomorrow and before the trade deadline. So look out for that. I think some players are going to probably show out and try to get out of Dodge, out of those teams. One Calvin Ridley might want to show up and want the ball a little more. Yeah, I'm going to go tight ends, but I think it's going to be like a 17-10 game, something like that. I'm going Tennessee.
All right, Tim.
Yeah, I just don't like Tennessee. I just for some reason I don't like the way that is. I agree with James. This is a game that I think you're gonna showcase everybody who you can plan on trading in 2 days anyway. I like Drake May. I think Drake May is a better quarterback than Levis. I said it. I'm gonna get killed for that. But I think Drake May is a better quarterback than anybody that Titans have on their roster. I think it was a positive that he comes back. As much as this makes me sick, I think the Patriots are just a better team than Tennessee.
Is it because you don't like Tennessee because they're in your division?
No, I hate both teams, but I hate the Patriots more than the Titans. But it makes me sick that I got to pick either one of these two teams.
Big B has the Patriots. He also had the Bengals as his lock. I don't know if I mentioned that or he mentioned it, but as his lock is the Bengals. The Patriots is not going to be my lock, but I did pick them to win this game, unfortunately. Their quarterback issue has been up and down. I think they started Jacoby Brissett a couple times, Drake May a couple times. It just hasn't worked out for either one, but I feel like Drake May is probably the better of the two. So I'm going to go with the Patriots on this one. And we now head to the next one, which is Washington at the Giants. I believe Washington won. This was a week 1 matchup in Washington where the Commanders did win this game against the Giants. Now it's a rematch, another divisional matchup in the NFC East. Tim, who do you got for this one?
Well, it just came across that the Commanders won't have Brian Robinson. I think that with a hamstring, it's still Washington and it's still the Giants. And as long as Danny Dimes is still the quarterback in the Giants, I think the Commanders win this quite easily. The only two bright spots that the Giants have is Neighbors and Tracy. I think those two are good. There's something to build around. We were talking backstage about how that the Commanders are going to be the team that's everybody's fantasy destination. And the question was asked was how much cap room does the Commanders have? They're sixth in cap space with $25 million under the cap. So yeah, if we're talking about who's going to be a buyer, I think the Commanders are, and I think they start off by winning today.
Yeah. James, who do you got?
These two met in week 2 in Washington, and remember that was the game that Cano got hurt, the kicker for the Giants, so they had to go for 2, and they kept missing that. And then Washington won by all field goals by their kicker Sly, I want to say it was. So just remember that. The Giants haven't won all year at home. What a time to do that if they do it. But they have a good defense, but just don't run any stupid 2-point plays like you did last on Monday night. That was just awful. I don't care what it was trying to do. Just don't do that ever again. Yeah, with Robinson Jr. being out, that hurts the running game. But hopefully Daniels can still air it out a little better. I'll be interested to see how he does against that Giants defense. He didn't have the best of games against the Bears defense. So it's just another gauntlet, I feel like, for Daniels. But hopefully he's able to, command it all. So I'm going to go Washington over the Giants today.
Unfortunately, I'm going with Washington as well. And they brought up an interesting stat, and I can't remember some of it, but I think the last touchdown scored for New York for the Giants at MetLife was like in 2023.
Yeah.
But everybody else, from football players to hockey players to soccer players, have scored a goal or a point.
College players. When Notre Dame had like 7 touchdowns, and then the Jets have I think 10 touchdowns, and the Giants haven't scored a touchdown all year long at MetLife Stadium.
You had Messi score a goal in a friendly. You had a goal in a stadium series in the NHL, and all these other points scored in MetLife, including the Jets, and the Giants can't. And they own the place, technically. But I'm going with Washington on this one. I think. And what you guys think of the Hail Mary last week? That was gutsy.
It's gutsy, but it was the funnier thing is the safety for the Chicago is a safety from the Chicago Bears, pretty much taunting everybody in at the stadium that this is going to be a Hail Mary and they're not going to get it. Next thing, he's still looking at the players as the pass is being thrown. And I'm like, okay, you're just not paying attention. You deserve to lose if you're playing that kind of game.
Yeah.
And then the fact that his assignment was to cover the back of the scrum.
Yeah.
And Noah Brown was wide open. And yeah, it's one of those young mistakes. Like, Richardson had his, Stevenson has had his. Hopefully they could bounce back from it. But that's another thing where you look at the locker room and you say, well, especially with the veterans, it's like, hey, don't ever do that again. Be keyed in, focused in on the play. Because when he had his back turned to the or facing the crowd, the 4 receivers or 5 receivers were, all gunning for the end zone or running toward the end zone. So that was it was good timing that he got there, but he did not do his assignment.
And for his great effort, Stevenson is not starting today in Week 9 for the Bears.
Figured that.
What's text too, and we'll move on to the next game. But you mentioned Noah Brown, former Cowboy, now play for the NFC East rival Washington. That kind of hurts.
Oh, it's funny when what's his name caught it, I was like, who the hell is that? And they flashed his name, and I was like, oh wow, that's a former Cowboy. Whoops.
That hurts, yeah. But next we have Washington. I think I know where everybody's going to lead to, but New Orleans going up against Carolina.
Ew.
In Carolina.
Ew.
I think I know where you guys are leading to, but let's go with James on this one.
Both have lost their last 5 games. Jeez. If you're in Charlotte, go do something else. Go to the NASCAR Hall of Fame museum. If the Hornets are playing, go watch that crap as well.
I'll tell you if the Hornets are playing.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be a horrible doubleheader. Go to Panthers game and then go to the Hornets game if they're in town. Okay, I think the Saints win. Alvin Kamara has a great. I think this will be a game of the running backs. You got Hubbard and you have Kamara. Both defenses are terrible. And Olave, hopefully he can get going. I think Rattler's starting, or that rookie is starting for the Saints, I want to say. Yeah. So, Derek Carr will return actually.
Yeah, Carr's back.
Yeah, hopefully Carr and Olave can hit on some touchdowns. I'm gonna go the Saints, I think they're going to end their 6-game losing streak today in Charlotte.
It looks like a Taysom Hill back too.
Too. Oh, that's helpful.
All right. That division is still reachable, too.
Not reachable for Carolina, but yeah.
Well, no, for the Saints, I'm saying.
I know.
Yeah, yeah. The sky's the limit there.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your
And
pick?
yeah, Spencer Rattler is actually, as a coach's decision, inactive for today. I don't like Spencer, but that's fine by me. I like Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr is gonna do a lot. I hate the Panthers playing like this, but then again, Panthers doing Panther things, and Sarge, I'm sorry to say, but you got a team that hasn't won at home. You got a team that's coming in that's only won one game on the road. And it's still Derek Carr, it's still Taysom Hill, it's still Alvin Kamara, and and Chris Olave. And the sad thing is I dumped Chris Olave because I thought he was going to be out for the day's game. Yeah, that's going to come back to bite me. I've got the Saints. Huh?
You can still add him up back out there.
He wasn't going to give me enough points anyway. But yeah, I've got the Saints, and I think this is going to be. I think this would be like putting a team out of its misery. And there goes Bacon. Bacon's gone back to the bathroom.
Well, the next game we had. Oh no, he's there.
No, I'm here.
Forgot to tap out.
Forgot to tap.
Oh wait, wrong tap. I got New Orleans in this one. You got Carr back. You got Taysom Hill back. Hey,
what's up, boy?
He's not gonna like this next one.
What's up? What's your thoughts on the games? We kind of went through them.
Sorry, who are you talking to?
It's okay. What's your thoughts on this week's slate of games? With this week so far, we've kind of been going through them.
I don't know what the games are.
So we were on New Orleans and Carolina earlier.
Oh, I don't know. Both teams are kind of trash. I would go with the Saints.
Yeah. What about Washington and New York?
Oh, dude, the Commanders are on another level. Jaden Daniels, that kid's out of his mind. Great quarterback. I'm not saying we missed by not taking him, but man, we might have missed.
You're right. We might have missed again on a quarterback. Patriots and Tennessee.
Both shit show teams. Levis ain't playing. Who's their quarterback even? Jesus.
Drake May for Patriots, and then
why not? I know it's Titans though.
I think it's who is it? Who is the quarterback in Tennessee? Hold on.
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Rudolph, the helmet guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me the helmet guy.
All right. Chargers in Cleveland.
Again, two trash teams. I got to go with Herbert though because I trust him more than Winston. Crab legs.
Raiders and the Bengals.
It's, Bengals. They're not even going to talk about this one because Raiders don't have a quarterback.
Ooh. Dolphins and Buffalo.
Ooh, Tua. Let's see if he gets another concussion by Loa. Bills.
All right, and then Cowboys and Falcons.
I saw a little bit of Micah Parsons' show, and he said, and I quote, "Game of the year for them, game of the week for us."
Oh,
Give me the Falcons.
all right. We'll go to you first, mess around. Denver and Baltimore.
But I like the way Bo Nix is playing. I really do. He's playing really good for a rookie. But playing that Baltimore defense, gonna be tough for him. Give me Baltimore.
All right, Tim.
Yeah, it's it. It's the Denver defense against the Baltimore offense. I think it's going to be. I think that's going to be the matchup to watch this week. Especially when you got Lamar Jackson and and Derrick Henry, King Henry, doing things that I thought he was too old to do. I've got Baltimore, but I think this is going to be a really good game.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. James.
That's what I'm hoping for too. Both teams have won 4 out of their last 5, so both are coming in kind of hot. So that's really good. Yeah, Dave mentioned with Bo Nix, he's playing well, but he's going to face a Raven defense that's really, really good. So it's going to be tough for him. Hopefully, he could keep it, competitive through the fourth quarter. But I think the Ravens, even though Lamar Jackson missed some practice time this week, I think he's ready to go. He'll be fine. I'm gonna go Ravens, but I just hope it's a close one.
I'm going Ravens on this one too. I'm hoping it's close, but who knows? It's going to be a back and forth thing. I believe. It looks like Big B has the Ravens on this one, so we have a few comments. We got Kevin saying, could have had Mahomes and Daniels, but nope, about the Bears. He says, us Bears fans, are just something about their loss to Kyler. So,
Okay.
We'll see. Next we have the Jaguars and the Eagles. James, who do you got?
This is a return for Doug Peterson back to Philadelphia, but it won't be a Purdy return. I think the Eagles will win pretty easy. This will be my lock. And the Eagles right now, they're flying high. I think they've won 4 out of their last 5, so they've found their way so far. Saquon Barkley's having a bounce back year. The only thing that's an issue is Slade Jr. and Goddard will be out for the Eagles. But I feel like they'll still be able to take on the Jaguars. ETN Jr. is questionable for them, as well as their running back Bigsby. So both of their running backs for the Jaguars are questionable. That will hurt without them. Also, Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas Jr., their 2 wide receiver threats are questionable. So it just depends who will step up, next man up for the Jags, and I don't think that's going to happen. So this is my lock. I'm going the Eagles today.
All right, mess around.
Man, Trevor Lawrence really regressed. He was supposed to be like the savior, the franchise guy for them. He hasn't really played well this year. They look bad too. I think Peterson is going to be fired after this year.
Mm-hmm.
And like James said, they're going to get blown out today. It's not. I don't think it's going to be close.
No.
Who's you going to throw to? Like James said, all the guys are out.
All right, Tim.
Yeah, there's just no weapons in Jacksonville. You already have Kirk out because he's got a broken collarbone. Like everybody else has said, we're basically beating a dead horse, saying that there's the running backs are pretty much DOA. You got your wide receivers who are pretty much DOA. Trevor Lawrence is the only bright spot that's sitting there looking. They've got Evan Ingram, but you can't throw to Evan Ingram 30 times a game. You got Philadelphia who is playing out of their skull again. I've got Philadelphia, and I think this is going to be a very ugly game. And then this is where we're going to say it's an ugly game, and the first thing that happens is we're going to eat our words, and this is going to be a field goal.
I got Philadelphia as well. This game it's going to be a good game for Philly. I don't think it's going to be one for Jacksonville. Big B also has Philadelphia, so that was his pick. I'm going to start with you, mess around. Your Bears going to Arizona.
Oh, man, we really struggle against running quarterbacks. Daniels all over the place. We didn't really get to him. That Hail Mary, that shouldn't have happened.
Mm-hmm.
He's been taunting the fans and whatnot. It's supposed to box out the guy that caught the ball. No excuse for that. Just bad coaching. I don't know. I think it's gonna be close. It's gonna come down to whoever has the ball last. But I'm taking Chicago by 3.
All right. Tim.
Yeah, I agree. You know, the running quarterbacks in Chicago it really shows a very big hole in that defense. But outside of that, you keep Kyler Murray inside the tackles. I think you can keep him contained. You know, I still harp on this that the fact is that Kyler Murray has now found out who Marvin Harrison Jr. is, and he's finally found him after not finding him in week 1. I think this is going to be a close game. I've got Arizona, but this may be the game of the late afternoon games.
Ooh. All right. James.
Yeah, both have won 3 out of their last 5. I'm interested to see if Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. continue to hook up. You know, they've been really good the last 3 weeks, and then week 2, but in between that, they've been non-compatible. So I'm looking forward to that. And then also their tight end, McBride, is really good too. So he's up there, and he's just a shocking revelation there. Montez Sweat is questionable for the Bears. We'll see if he's there. This one is going to be really, really close. It's going to come down to whoever makes a defensive play late. The thing with Kyler Murray, you're hoping to, if he does get out of the pocket, you're hoping that you keep him, with 1 or 2 rushing yards that a play. You're hoping he doesn't go, down the field with 1. If you're the Bears defense, I know the Bears, they're trying to just forget about last week. I'm going to go with Arizona by a last-second field goal.
Okay, I got to go back and amend my pick because I made my pick on Friday, and I have the Bears, so I'm going back to my amended pick from Friday. So I'm going to go back and go with Bears.
All right. I'm going Bears too. Big B's going Bears. Hopefully that's not a trap game for any one of us. But we're all going Bears. Detroit going to Green Bay to face the Packers. Fox's game of the week. Let's go with James.
Man, I can't wait for this game later on today. Josh Jacobs is questionable. Jordan Love is questionable. Jazair Alexander is questionable. And the center's doubtful, Josh Myers. And that's going to be pretty huge there. Lions coming in, winning their last 5. The Packers 4 out of their last 5. So a lot can give here. And the thing is, too, as I always mention with Jared Goff, he's great indoors. But this is outdoors at Lambeau Field. I'm interested to see if he throws some short passes. He doesn't go long with the weather being the way it is and Green Bay playing better defense. Man, I don't know who to go with. I mean, 6-1 Lions, 6-2 Packers. I think, obviously it'd be a play for first place here. I'm going to go Detroit with the squeaker. I think they win very small. But, yeah, I'm going to go Detroit. I think they just have enough. And then right now we don't know about Jordan Love and the other 2. But I'm guessing Love is trending to play, I'm guessing.
Jackson, Jordan Love is trending to play. So is Josh Jacobs. Jacobs is trending to play too.
All right, mess around.
Do I have to pick a winner? I'm taking a tie. I'm picking a tie. They're going to tie. Yeah.
That's because you're in the NFC North. That's because you're in the North of your teams.
I can only get so lucky. It's not going to happen. But honestly, Detroit by 10.
Detroit by 10. All right. Tim.
Yeah, this is what we call in my family the Civil War game. because I've got enough Packer fans in my family, and my sister being the lone Lions fan. Um, I love my sister to death, and I think that's the only reason why I'm picking it this way because she's the minority. I am picking the Lions to beat the Packers. I think I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like. Everybody's so worried about if this is going to be a terrible weather game. I haven't seen the weather report. It could be big. This could turn out to be a shootout, huge shootout. But I've got the Lions in this game.
All right. I got the James. Did we go to?
Yeah, I already said Lions. It'll be
Uh-huh.
52 and sunny, by the way, in Green Bay.
So
All right.
November.
Well, they had the tarp on the. So I got Detroit in this one. I believe Big B has Detroit for this one too. Next up, we have the Rams and the Seahawks, a NFC West matchup. Tim, who do you got?
That's one of those. That's the potential of being a great game, but then again, you got everybody from the first place to the fourth place, a half game with each other. This could go any way. At this point, I could probably throw a coin for a coin flip and pick this game. Puka's supposed to play, which might have changed. Should have if I'd have known this, it might have changed my pick. But I've got Seattle, but I think this is going to be a very close game.
Yeah, it will be. Let's go and mess around.
That's
Rams.
round's gone. That's round's gone.
James, who do you got?
Yeah, Seahawks have lost 4 out of their last 5. The last 3 games at home they've lost. They hate being home. It's the weirdest thing. They have a good crowd advantage, but they don't play well. They got killed by Buffalo at home and then by the 49ers, and then they had some miscues at the end against the Giants. Rams come in. They're a little hobbled, of course. You mentioned, Puka Nacua. Let's just say being a game-time decision. It is good seeing Cooper Kupp back for LA. Noah Fant, DK Metcalf will both be out for the Seahawks offense, along with Abraham Lucas, their offensive tackle, who's on the PUP list. Maybe he'll be back in a couple of weeks, but that's big on the offensive line. Geno Smith, he's just been awful as of late. Stafford's starting to find his way again. I think the Rams win this. Of course, a divisional game, it's going to be close. It won't be, a shootout like we've seen from years before. I think the Rams win probably by like 5. It'll probably be like a 17-12 game or something like that. A 19-12 game or 19-14 game, I'll say, and the Rams win that one. I just feel like Seattle, it's not a good time right now for them, especially at home.
No, it's not. I think it's pretty much a clean sweep with Seattle. Let me see. You going Seattle too? Or no, you're going Rams, Tim, right?
No, I'm going Seattle. Let me double check before I have to go make it.
Right.
No, we got Seattle.
Okay, Big B's picking Seattle too. I'm going with we'll go with Seattle. I'll make it my lock. Why not?
Ooh.
If you wait, hold on. You haven't noticed if you notice, I haven't picked the lock yet.
I should have did. Oh.
You
go ahead.
Go back.
I like the Eagles though. I do like the Eagles.
Okay.
I'm good with mine.
And then we talked a little bit or a lot about the Colts and the Vikings. So we're gonna move on to Monday night.
There you go.
You got Tampa Bay and Kansas City. Will Kansas City lose against Tampa Bay?
There.
Let's go with Tim. Who's your pick?
Here's my pick, folks. I think Auten has a huge day since since Tampa doesn't have they don't have Godwin, they don't have Evans. I really I think Mahomes has had enough turnovers to wreck a game, but haven't done it yet. I am going to make this my lock. I am taking the Buccaneers as my lock of the week.
Oh,
Oh,
now.
oh, wow. Okay. Um, James, who do you got?
I'm not as out there. I don't think the Chiefs have won their last 5.
7.
Tampa Bay has lost 3 of their last 5, and they're banged up. They won't have their running back Irving, so they're going to have to rely on White there. Godwin and Evans are both out. Mayfield usually doesn't do well on Monday Night Football. We saw that a couple of weeks ago with the Ravens. Chiefs are trying to win their 14th straight Monday night game, and I think they will.
So you're saying I don't have a chance?
I don't think so, man. I want to. I think Kelsey and Hopkins. I think they're both going to shine on Monday Night Football with Pat Mahomes throwing the ball very well, and weather's still good there. But I don't see the Bucks winning, and then that'll open up that South even more to whoever wants it. So I'm going Chiefs. I think the winning streak continues.
I'm going Chiefs too. Big B's going Chiefs. I think
I'm
you're
not
on the
afraid.
outside.
I'm not afraid.
That's okay. And then we talked about the Hail Mary play, that the Bears didn't calculate on. Stevenson, he's not playing today, inactive. That was his decision.
That was his decision?
That was his decision.
Oh, he tapped out before the game started. Cool.
That's not good.
That's nice. That's nice of him. At least he didn't have to wait till third down to do it.
He decided, man, I didn't do my job. I'm going to put myself in timeout. Basically, what he said, and that's why he's not playing. His decision, not coach's decision, not medical. His decision. And with that, our picks are set. Take them or leave them. Tim, do you have a prime 5?
Oh yeah, we're doing a early award. Early.
Way too early.
Way too well. No, it's half season, so I think I'm okay.
Awards, all right.
I've decided to do Coach of the Year.
Ooh.
I think we all pretty much should know who number 1 is.
Andy Reid.
What? No.
Oh.
Come on. My number 5 is a coach near and dear to James's division's heart. I don't think a team should be 5-2, and I bet you this team is wondering why, or 5-3, and you're probably wondering why they didn't do it last year with Russell Wilson. I got Sean Payton Sean Payton at number 5. Number 4, again, another coach near and dear to James's. I didn't believe me when I made this list. I didn't have James in mind when it just happened. And Bacon was so nicely enough to bring him up. I don't care if you're 7-0, but you're not doing it pretty. You got a quarterback who is 8 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. I think basically that's another reason why my lock is the Buccaneers. My number 4 is Andy Reid. My number 3, I honestly, and to me, I'm shocked by how this team with the aforementioned Russell Wilson and Justin Fields is now basically leading the AFC North. I think, and I don't know if he's ever won Coach of the Year, but my number 3 is Mike Tomlin. I don't think he has. He might have. I think he might have won it once the first year he was there. My number 2, I don't know how many people had the Atlanta Falcons leading the NFC South,
Nope.
especially the way that Tampa was, and I didn't know what they would do with a new quarterback, but my number 2 is who the heck is Raheem Morris. But at this point, this guy, my number 1, is running away with the award, and I think we've said it enough, and Mess Around said it too, that the Commanders are playing at a whole nother level, and I think it starts with the coach. I heard that he dumbed down he basically narrowed down the playbook for Jalen Daniels, and you gotta admit that my number 1 is Dan Quinn of the Washington Commanders.
Okay.
So Mike Tomlin has never won the Coach of the
Really?
Year. That's the AP Coach of the Year, because there's other
Yep.
awards or other publications, but the AP one that has all of it. You would think that would be different, but I think with Belichick there, and then Reed now, that's kind of taken away from what Tomlin has done.
And considering he's never had a losing record in Pittsburgh. Has he ever missed the playoffs as a Steelers head coach?
I think he has, yeah.
But he's never had a losing record.
That's the big thing, yeah.
And yet he has never won Coach of the Year. At this point, are we talking about Mike Tomlin being a Hall of Fame head coach?
I think so. I mean, he won the Super Bowl in second year? I can't remember. It wasn't long after he was coach.
It might have been
I think it was his 5th year.
Yeah.
But still, it wasn't long.
He had lost. He beat the Seahawks. He lost to the Packers.
Jaguars.
He lost to the Aaron Rodgers Packers.
Yeah, in AT&T.
4.
Yeah,
4th year. His 4th year, he won the Super Bowl against the Packers. No, I'm sorry. Whoa.
No, the Packers
lost
won
the
the
Super Bowl. Yeah. So the third, his 2nd year, I think.
You against the Seahawks?
No, Cardinals.
No, that was
against the Cardinals. Yeah, he's been to the Super Bowl 3 times, at least 3 times.
Yeah,
I have 2.
Cowher was the coach for that Seahawk one.
Right. Oh, okay. I got 2.
Okay. But do you think that he should be? Do you think he would be in the talk for Hall of Fame at this point?
Yeah, I think so. With the Super Bowl wins and the long list of again being 500 or better.
Whenever he leaves the NFL, he'll.
I don't think he's leaving for at least 10 years at this point.
Well, I know, but I'm saying whenever he does. And it's weird too. I don't know if we touched on this any time, but they changed the rules for coaches for the Hall of Fame.
Really?
Now you got to wait 1 year, and then you're qualified.
So we should be expecting Belichick this year.
Belichick and Carroll.
What if he wants to coach next year, though?
He can still coach. You got to remember. Dick Vermeil went to the Hall of Fame as a coach and then coached again. I think
because the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So that's a good list. I think all those coaches are in the running. They'll probably give it to Peyton, though, if I had to guess.
Oh, they should give it to Quinn, but well, go ahead.
I was thinking, does somebody do a bottom 5 of that list?
Ooh.
Oh. Next week. Okay. Sounds like a challenge. 5 next week. Cool.
And will one survive this week after this week?
Oh, we should play that. We should do that one of the we should do the hot seat challenge like they have something called the Deadpool.
There's 7 of them.
We should start that this week. We all pick a coach that we think isn't going to make it next week, and then we go from there. And we live and die by that pick.
Doug Peterson.
Oh, come on! At this point, you just basically just put yourself at the head of the line. It's like basically calling for Beetlejuice and said Beetlejuice twice.
Okay. If Dennis Allen loses to the Panthers,
Carolina. I'll go
No,
Carolina.
I think Carolina sits on their coach for another year.
Okay.
Yeah, I like we should. Okay, so you're taking Doug Peterson. Is that who you?
Yeah, I'm going Doug because he's going back home, and they say, well, you should know your old team, your old players. But
All right.
that's what
All
I'm
right.
thinking.
So James is going. So James is going Doug Peterson. All right, who you going, Bacon?
I'm gonna go with the. I'm sorry, James. I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
That would be something. If they don't keep him the whole year and they fire, let's say they get blown out like 52-6, they realize, oh, he's just a rah cheerleader guy. He's not actual X's and O's guy, which has come out to be the case. 2 times in LA, he's not gone for it on 4th down when he should have, and they punted the ball or kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
All right, this is where you apologize to James. Guess what? I'm going to apologize to you.
Okay.
I think if the Cowboys lose this week, I think McCarthy's gone.
Uh-huh.
But man, Jerry doesn't make moves during the season.
He doesn't.
That'd be the first time.
No, once. He did it once with Wade Phillips.
Who was the coach?
Jason Garrett?
Garrett.
When Garrett came in after?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I got McCarthy. You've got Peterson, and you've got that coach over there in Los Vegas.
Antonio Pierce.
Wow, Pierce. Yeah, okay. All right. Big B's going to go. I really should never go to work on Sundays because we have great ideas after he leaves.
Yeah. And before we head out, if you're a college fan, AP poll comes out today, this afternoon. And then on Tuesday, the college football polls start coming out.
The playoff one?
Yeah, on ESPN.
Wow.
So that should be a fun time.
It'd be fun. Should be real fun.
Who will be the top 12 in the inaugural 12-team playoff?
Indiana, please.
Indiana.
I hope they get in. That'd be awesome.
I do too. I really do too.
And Fox is going to come to the Naval Base in San Diego.
Oh, really?
Next Sunday.
Wow. They usually go to what's the one? Point?
West Point.
West Point. I remember they did that last couple of years, but
yeah, for the blue gray game, not the blue gray game, the Army Navy game.
Yeah, and that one's going to be good this year.
Yeah, that's going to be really good this year.
So, with that, any final thoughts? We'll go to Tim.
Thanks everybody for watching. Kevin, thank Big B for coming in and spending half a day, and then we have great thoughts after you leave. Mess around for coming in, an old alumni in this show. Watch us on Tuesday for C2C Rankum. I know we've been gone. This past Friday we celebrated 2 years with our show C2C Rankum. Keep in touch with that, and then come back and watch us again on Sunday. And if my lock hits on Monday, don't be afraid to say, Tim, you're God and you know how to pick a lock. And thank you for taking the Buccaneers over the Chiefs. Other than that, have fun, be safe, enjoy the games, and hopefully your fantasy football team doesn't suck like mine does.
Or mine. James, who do you got?
That's the reason I don't play fantasy anymore. I just want to enjoy the games. You're looking at the college rankings. Okay, 10 lost, 11 lost. Both 11s lost. 17 lost. Only 19 won. So that means Indiana should move up, to 10, I hope, in the college rankings.
Yeah.
Should be a fun afternoon to see who moves up and who wins and who potentially gets fired. All that and much more, I guess. Thanks everyone for watching and tuning in. We'll be back next week for On Deck.
On deck for the football teams.
Yeah. Yeah, that is On Deck. But Morning Tailgate. We'll be back next week for another episode. And with that, enjoy the weekend.